an era driven by digital technology gives us more possibilities. It bridges for dialogue between design and the future, and for space to have self-awareness. With bustling and orderly cities, technology and industrial parks brimming with imagination, construction will never again leave a sense of regret. Individual requirements are realized in scale. Every bit of love is worth waiting for. A new driving force born of our three-dimensional world, symbiotic development goal for liberated and limitless productivity, making every project a success. With digital building as our main theme throughout the full life cycle, fusing the virtual with reality, linking supply and demand, using platform to empower industry. This is what marks the 20 years of Glodon's deep immersion in industry. From central business district to new coastal city, from international airport to new urban district, from digital building to intelligent residence, from technology innovation to industry empowerment. From professional application to digital integrated project management platform. Glodon walks with you from the beginning to the end. The past, present, and future. The power of digital technology never stops. We aspire to build happiness with both hands and strive for the ceaseless material and the spiritual growth and development of our staff. We believe that people-oriented technology can continue to bring technology and ideals into the construction area. For you, for everyone, for the future, creating an even more beautiful world. Glodon, making every project a success.
Every change in productivity in human society opens up a brand new era. Now a brand new digital age has arrived. The construction industry has also quietly started this digital wave. And the leading concept of digital building has triggered great change that can be written down in history. Building is never isolated. It is a condensation of time, space, thoughts, and matters. Digital building is a comprehensive digital reshaping of the complete life system of building. Reconstruct the building by numbers and link the virtual and the real connection with each other. Do extensive collection of industrial databases on powerful algorithms and huge computing power. That guides us to achieve smarter management. Digital building connects the upstream and downstream of the construction industry chain into an organic system. Creates a construction industry internet platform to give the industry a new dynamism to upgrade. Promote industrial upgrading represented by new design, new construction, and new operation and maintenance. And build a new ecosystem with multi-win and synergistic development spirit. As a result, digital application scenarios become the new normal situation of the construction industry. Enterprise-intensive management with data as the core, refined management with projects as the core, and help each project getting successful through a digital building platform. Digital building is a gradual process. From the each position of digital application to achieve efficient operations. Each position links to other positions, collaborative, interact to achieve refined management of the project. Promote the digitalization of enterprises with the project at the fulcrum and reshape the core competitiveness of enterprises. And finally, it achieves full digitalization supervision of construction industry. When the dream of digital transformation shines into the construction industry, it has inspired countless industry colleagues to jointly promote the step-by-step growth of digital building and to make the ancient industry of construction a new vitality. Digital building shows us unlimited possibilities, and it will lead the construction industry to a new life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cubicost 5D BIM launch event, Tap into Your Talent. I'm Betty from Glodon. Together with me is Mr. Edison. We will be the MC for the day.
Hello, I'm Edison. Again, welcome to the biggest event for Cubicost in 2021.
So Edison, do you know why this is called the 5D BIM launch event?
Yes, actually, Cubicost has been developed for more than 20 years, and this year we released the biggest updates on the much more powerful functions. So I believe that all of you will be impressed by what you will see in today's presentation.
That's correct. Today, not only will we introduce the new Cubicost, also, we are honored to have two special guests with us to share BIM news. First of all, we have Professor Conchana Pereira, the Vice President of Institute of Quantity Surveyors, Sri Lanka. And also, we have Mr. Rajiv Nehru from RICS, the in-market lead. They will open the session today on this valuable knowledge sharing. Afterwards, we will have Mr. Frank, Mr. Xavier, and Mr. An to share us on the latest true 5D BIM technology. Last, don't forget that we will have the big lucky draw today. Kindle and the Cubicost license are ready to be given out. You might be that lucky one. Without further ado, let's welcome our first speaker, please.
Practice gives you skills. Skills give you competence. Competence gives you confidence. Woody Miller. Skills and competence gives you confidence. Good afternoon. Today I'll be talking about diversification of quantity surveys roles, skills and competencies required. By looking at the audience, I believe this topic will be very useful for you all, since majority of the audience are quantity surveyors and others are having quantity surveying related jobs. So in my presentation, I'll be talking about future skills and competencies required by QSers for next 5 to 10 years for you to survive in the industry. In my presentation outline, I'll be talking about history of QS, evolution of the QS practice, diversified roles, skills and competencies, future names for QSers, concluding remarks. First of all, I would like to introduce who is a QS. Quantity survey is a professional with expert knowledge on costs and contracts of a construction project across all stages from inception up to the practical completion. As we all know, QSers are the cost managers of the construction industry. QSers seek to minimize the cost of the project and enhance value for money while safeguarding the standards and quality of it. Since its birth, the QS profession has undergone a significant transformation. QS profession from its birth has developed a lot. With this brief introduction, I would like to talk about the history of QS very briefly. The quantity surveying profession dates back to the Bible in terms of Luke chapter 14:28, which reads, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sits not down first and counts the cost to see whether he will have sufficient to finish it?" What Bible says, if you are going to construct something, you have to do an estimate and see whether you have enough money. Throughout the construction of the pyramids of ancient Egypt, the QS was called measurer of royal works, measurer of the king. The first QS practice was established in England in 1785 by the firm of Henry Cooper and Sons, more than 200 years ago. The term quantity survey was first recorded in 1859. Prior to the term quantity survey in 1859, the terms measurer, brick counter, custom surveyor or surveyor were used. With this brief history, I would like to talk about how this profession or practice got evolved. The traditional roles of QSers have got reformed over years. With the introduction of the calculator, basic computer, sophisticated computers, then different ICT packages, our profession got reformed. Now, QSers have to perform diversified roles both within and outside the construction industry. Construction industry is a dynamic industry which is constantly undergoing rapid changes with new technologies. These changes in the construction industry have made the roles played by quantity surveyors to become diversified. The roles of QSers have now provide technical and specialized services both. We are supposed to play the normal technical role as well as specialist role. A considerable number of QSers have penetrated into specialized areas such as BIM modeling, claims management, dispute resolution, feasibility studies, etc. QSers are working in other sectors other than in the construction as banking, insurance, petroleum, agriculture, etc. Therefore, employment patterns of QSers are being drastically refined or redefined because of innovations and advanced information technological applications. Day by day, with the introduction of new technology, we have to change our role. we have to enhance our role. Rapidly evolving nature of the construction industry has led to considerable expansion in number of roles expected from QS. It makes necessary for QSers to enhance the skills and competencies. Skill is the ability to perform a certain task. Then a competency is a human characteristic that includes a combination of knowledge and skills required for the effectual performance in the profession. By considering this development in the construction industry, professional bodies present establish competency standards to ensure that QS perform well as a professional. Professional bodies establish new competencies. Why? For QS to perform in the industry. Well, QSers have been adapting to changes in order to remain competitive in the profession. If we do not adapt ourselves, we may lose our jobs. There will be less demand for QSers. Therefore, QSers have extended their diversified services to other industries by embracing value-added skills and competencies to survive in the industry, to be demanded by the industry. With this brief background, I would like to move to findings of one of our recent research project. So in our research project, we were able to rank the most demanded diversified roles of QSs. Rank 1 was given to claims management, then BIM coordination, contract administration, cost modeling, data management, cost benefit analysis, value management, life cycle costing, carbon accounting, arbitration. Even though we call them as diversified roles, there are traditional roles as well as new roles. So these will be the roles which are demanded in next 5 to 10 years. Then, as the second step of our research study, we were able to identify skills and competencies required to perform these demanded diversified roles. You can see in front of each demanded diversified roles, we were able to identify top 5 skills, top 5 competencies. Likewise, for each and every role, demanded role, we were able to find skills and competencies. At the end of this process, we were able to list 10 most required skills by QSers to survive in the construction industry for next 5 to 10 years. Analytical skills, number 1, computer and information technology, construction technology, professional practice, quantification, measurement, our traditional role of measurement, personal and interpersonal skills, leadership skills, construction law and regulations, business and management skills, communication skills. Then we were able to identify the 10 most required competencies: contract documentation, construction technology, contract administration, project management, dispute resolution, cost estimating, life cycle cost analysis, budgetary process, value management, cost planning. So you can understand these competencies will be very useful in near future for QSers to survive in the industry. Then, third finding of our research study, this is very interesting. So what is this? Future names for QSers. How are we going to get labeled in near future? Procurement manager, cost intelligence service manager, BIM manager, BIM modeler, project financial reporter, innovation manager, QS in offsite construction, insurance loss adjusters, green building certifiers, construction risk managers, construction tax advisor, asset buyer advisor, carbon accounting manager. So we can see we will be labeled with new posh names other than the quantity survey, senior quantity survey, chief quantity survey in future. But to have these labels, we have to enhance our skills and competencies. With this, I would like to move to my concluding remarks. There are new diversified roles of QSs that have highest demand as claims management, BIM coordination, contract administration, cost modeling, data management, etc. Therefore, as QSers, we have to adopt to these diversified roles by improving our skills and competencies. Roles, skills, competencies of QSers are rapidly changing day by day. So we have to run that race. We have to rapidly change. QSers need to update their skills and competencies with new developments, especially with the information technology. So there are two bodies which I would like to highlight can play a good role. Quantity surveying professional bodies can set up the skills and competency requirements for QSers in their professional bodies. Then QSers will improve their skills and competencies. They can set up these new skills and competencies. The other way around, academic institutions, when they improve their curriculums for graduates or degree programs or diplomas, they can include these diversified roles. Considering diversified roles, they can include these skills and competencies. QSers will be labeled with modern names in future. Sometimes we may not be called as QSers, senior QSers, chief QSers, but we will be labeled with modern posh names. Finally, what is your way forward or my final advice? Be updated with now new ICT developments and new concepts such as lean construction, value engineering, value management, modular construction, etc. But please do not ignore traditional roles, skills, and competencies of QS. You have to have those traditional skills, traditional competencies. You have to play traditional roles. Therefore, finally, be a QS who is competent with traditional roles, but be armed with a very strong IT base and with a very strong base of other new concepts. Thank you.
Thanks to Professor Conchana Pereira. The professor not only explains to us the traditional roles of quantity surveyors, but also describes a bright career future for all of us. As quantity surveyors, we are facing the higher requests and challenges from the industry. Skills and competitiveness with powerful IT tools are very necessary. Thanks again to Professor Conchana Pereira. Now, let's welcome to our next speaker, Mr. Rajiv Nehru from Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining in. Today we have a very interesting topic to look at. The basic topic is, let me share my screen with you. We are talking about the trends in construction across the globe in 2021. Let us look at a small presentation which I have for you. Now, there's a very old saying, very old saying which we come across very often, says that need is the mother of invention. That means whenever there is a need, invention is an automatic phenomenon. Similarly, when pandemic happened, we all realized the need of how we can use the digital media to a much larger extent than what we are using. And especially in the construction sector where the digital transformation was actually limited to very basic advancements, suddenly we realize that there's a world of opportunity for us to look at options which can be used in construction linked to digitization and digital transformation. So let's look at some options or some parameters. If you look at the statistics here, a very basic statistics talk about UK, where over 46,000 jobs in construction alone are slated probably in 2020-21. Global digitalization has a reached market share of more than 19%, and similarly, almost 50 billion devices in the world are connected now. So this is not something which is of choice, but it is of need, and everybody is logging into this need in terms of using these digital media basically for business as usual. If you look at the five basic trends in construction which are happening globally, um, are basically based on the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs we call it. There is a shift to more greener construction practices happening across global projects. Modular buildings are becoming common, especially with the 3D printing coming as a good invention. And modular buildings basically are faster, maybe much cheaper, and they have very less wastage in terms of time, cost, and labor. Then the next stage would be new materials, which are interactive materials. Especially, we have some waterproofing materials, which are primarily linked to cooling your buildings when there's through sunny days or through summer. So new materials also coming of age where they can be used to the advantage of the society and the industry. Technological investments will increase in terms of now the industry has realized that there is a huge uh, need and availability of technical solutions, digital solutions for construction, and hence they are looking at investing much more in the future in terms of the technical upgradation of their systems. Then, as most countries have realized that the only way to develop is develop infrastructure, and there's a political support hanging around that as well. So this is going to be a big thing in the world now, and all this is due to some changes which has happened because of the COVID being there, and how we have tried to work around the COVID parameters and make business again come back to the original levels. So you could look at basic 10 odd parameters in construction which are futuristic. As we just discussed, prefabrication, modular construction is something which you look at. Whereas we are going from a point where we had a conventional formwork system which could take 20-25 days per slab cycle, to now with tunnel form technology maybe 2 days, and with model with printing technologies can be done in hours. Linked to that are advanced building materials like self leveling micro concrete or other chemical waterproofing materials, which are very very advanced materials in terms of their use and practical measures. Then we look at 3D printing is now come up in a big way, and I think slowly the scale of that is increasing, and that will also become big in the world. A lot of additives are being used now more. Earlier it was an option. Now it's a need in terms of additives, whether in painting or in concreting, etc. Autonomous construction is being used, especially if you're looking at drones and other equipment which are self-run, basically to have a faster economical work and lesser accidents. Augmented reality and visualization are being used in digitizing the content, understanding the drawings in a better way, and similar to that, using big data to predict how the project can happen, the supply chains, the risks in the project, all that can be mapped. Wireless monitoring with equipment is also now have been done in a big way, and it is the need of the hour where you can sit in your office and monitor your projects by sitting in your office. And through cloud and real-time collaboration, if you have multiple number of consultants in your company and they are at various remote locations, hence that could not be a problem now, because they can come on one platform and talk about that as the time goes, and have a better collaborative effort on whether design, construction, and anything else. 3D scanning and photogrammetry are also all part of the process which is happening. And then BIM is being developed from a 3D model to now a 5D model as well. Hence, the building information modeling has also been is advancing the way the world moves forward. Like this example of a BIM model, which is basically of a metro station. As you can see, the metro station is 7 levels below the ground. Nobody could have visualized how it looks like, but now with the BIM model and the benefit of using BIM, one could see at each level how the building is designed or underground structure is designed. So, and then you can have various development modes details here, like LOD 100, which is pre-designed, to LOD 500, which is as built, and then the levels of schematic design, design development, construction documentation, and construction stage documentation all can be built using BIM. And interestingly, we can always use the BIM lifecycle with a GIS framework. Basically, the idea here is to do master planning and construction logistics, which was a big supply chain issue. But if you combine the BIM lifecycle and the GIS framework, this will give answers to the logistic. You can say the teething troubles that came due to the logistics not being streamlined. Then AI is a big thing in construction now. Almost 16% companies are using AI in their business as usual. They are seeing a 50% increase in profits. And where they are using AI, you can see these eight listings here, optimizing schedules, identifying unsafe behavior, basically in terms of image recognition, analyzing patterns of supply chain or maintenance. Risk forecasting is one important, where the supply chain risk, technical risks, or execution risks are being very easily understood here. Comparing plans with what was designed and what was built, so it's a good image recognition tool which comes to AI. Improving building modeling in terms of the data which was used while planning and the actual construction done. We have, like in construction, we have cobots, the construction robots, who can you do some jobs which for a human being maybe could be hard and hazardous. So that cobot assistance also is being developed here. And image recognition analysis, AI can categorize to tag the site photography and understand the safety hazards or the movement hazards within the site. So AI is being used in a big way in construction as of now. And then to top it all, there's a case study of the Siemens electric highway, which is almost 4,000 kilometers done in Germany, where a truck is run on a overhead electrical catenary. The power which is supplied to this overhead catenary system is a power generated from the braking of these trucks. So there is no external power system. So it's a highly sustainable and renewable source of energy, and at the same time, it's a, a large infrastructure project which has been undertaken. And the future is next. We all know about the Hyperloop. Hyperloop is basically the magnetic levitation technology hooked up with the braking energy of the Hyperloops to generate power. It was earlier given by one Elon Musk. You all know Tesla. So this is the future now, and it will convert journey from hours to minutes, as you can see. I showed for New York, Washington D.C., or Los Angeles, San Francisco, and in India and China also, in many places this is the pilot runs are being done. So the future is bright, future is happening, and future is dynamic. So we all have to make sure that we wherever we are working, also to convert our systems and work elements to cater and to match this changing environment of the world. So thank you very much for patient listening, and I hope you enjoyed this session. Basically, the idea of the session was to give an insight of what is happening in terms of construction and the trends in construction, so that we all are geared up for what we need to do and how we need to be ready for the future. Thank you, and all the best.
Hello everyone, this is Frank Cui. Welcome to my session. Today my topic is embracing digitalization in construction. In front of the technology development wave, we only can follow the trend if we are not want to be left behind. I divide my session into 4 small parts. The pandemic since 2020 deeply affected our industry. However, the digitalization is accelerating. As one of the top 5 EC software providers in the world, how Glodon empowers our industry. What is 5D BIM and BIM QS? And what kind of benefits 5D BIM can bring to our working and how it empowers our team. So today, digitalization is a very hot topic all over the world. The word of digitalization was mentioned 6 times in China government's 14th 5-year annual plan. So you can see that it has become the national strategic policy. So through this technological development chart, we can see that from 2010 to 2020, the development of digital technology is accelerating. It has become the leading force for a new wave of technological revolution. So the representative technologies for the digitalization are including BIM, social networks, Internet of Things, automation technologies, etc. So these technologies have deeply changed our business mode and affected our working life. But from this slide, we can see that from 1940s until today, almost 60 years, construction is lagging behind almost all other industries when it comes to the digitalization. So we can see that the industry is desperate to make a change. Despite an increasing culture shift toward the digitalization, our industry remains like a sleeping dinosaur. For example, before the COVID-19 crisis, 93% of the construction industry players agreed that digitalization would soon affect every process. This is according to a Roland survey for developed countries. But yet, only 6% of construction companies made full use of the digital tools. In my mind, the digital technology could not only increase our efficiency, but also it helped us to tackle our industry's challenges around the sustainability. The key technology to support the upgrade of our industry, including the IoT, Internet of Things, BIM, building information modeling, AI, artificial intelligence, and etc. We know that the pandemic has pushed all types of sectors to find a way to effectively, operate online. So even with a lot of opportunities and setbacks, and also there's no exception for our construction industry. So the pandemic is like a catalyst. So nowadays, all people agree that it's the time to set up a real digital strategy for individual and for the enterprise. So launching a real digital strategy becomes very essential for the continuous success in the following years to come. So how to make our enterprise ready for the reform? We think we should prepare from 4 levels, including the concept, technology, solution, and implementation. We should make planning from the top to the bottom, but we should implement the technology from the bottom to top. Digitalization in the construction industry has been a growing trend for many years. However, from our survey and from our observe nowadays, its speed is accelerating. Then I wanted to explain how Glodon empowers the industry. Glodon is a digital building platform provider. So we provide customers with digital solutions that can cover the whole life cycle of the buildings. We have more than 20 years practical experience. We served more than 200,000 companies all over the world. Up now, we have more than 60 global subsidiaries and branches. We have 6 global R&D centers, including 3 in China, 1 in America, 1 in Finland, another 1 in Poland. So the group adopted multiple business development. So we have digital design, we have digital cost estimation, we have digital construction, we have innovative business. So today, the product release Cubicost is from the digital cost estimation business group. And the key technology focused by Glodon, including the BIM and SIM, that means city information modeling, IoT technology, big data, cloud, AI technology, etc. So Glodon BIM system, including the BIM tools for the individuals, and also including the BIM solution for the projects like Cubicost for the tender stage and for the construction stage. And also we have the vertical solution for the enterprise. So Glodon, we empower our industry for the regulation. We empower the city and the science park construction. So these are some testimony projects. And also we empower the developers, the owners. So we help them establish their own BIM platform. And also we directly provide the project management solutions. You can see the first project, it is the Beijing Daxing International Airport. So they are using a lot of solutions from Glodon. You can see from the result, the quantity takeoff time is saved by 90%. The quantity comparison time is saved by 20%. And the overall working efficiency is increased by 50%. And also we enterprise the enterprise vertical solution and also the infra projects. Then next, let's discuss what is 5D BIM and the BIM class. So building information modeling, BIM, should be regarded as the backbone of the digital strategy. So it is the backbone of the new way of working, triggered and targeted by the digital strategy. We know that different elements ultimately should be connected to the BIM modeling, and all BIM, the 5D BIM is expected to trigger the significant improvement potential. And by type, the BIM software is divided into 3D BIM management of the design models, 4D BIM management of the schedule relevant to time, 5D BIM management of the estimation and cost. There are also 60 and 70, Based on the application, the market is classified into the architects, the AEC engineer offices, the contractors, owners, and in our mind is the contractor segment is expected to be the fastest growing market during the forecast period, for the digitalization. And the BIM is not only for design, and it shouldn't be only for design. So BIM should be applied for the whole life cycle of the buildings. And 5D BIM is reforming the pre-construction and early design, while saving the owners time and money. So what is how we define 5D BIM in comparison with other dimensions? So 5D BIM allows a cost manager to collaboratively manage and control the project cost with the project team, based on a 3D model in a more efficient manner and as per the standard method of measurement. So that means we can generate quantity takeoff quickly based on 3D modeling and accurately based on the embedded calculation rules. And what is BIM class? So BIM class should be the quantity surveyor who are able to operate and analyze a BIM modeling for the information extraction, and also can be able to perform quantification using BIM modeling effectively and efficiently. So from this chart, we can see that the earlier to implement BIM, the higher value of return would be benefited to the personal and to the organization. So what BIM-QS can do? BIM-QS can lower down the time spent in the environment. They are more professional in contract administration and enhance the cost analysis with big data, better managing changes, tender, and the construction stage, greater control in claim and various orders. So we can explain more benefits of the 5D BIM. So these are some direct and obvious benefits. I think most of us can understand, like linking the information that's relevant to the project cost to a 3D model, like better understanding on the project scope with graphic information, automate the generation of quantities and provide more accurate data, easy access and provide real-time information for projects and cost management purposes. In fact, there's also a lot of others, like the effective interdisciplinary clash detection, like the faster quantity takeoff, because this is based on the BIM modeling, like automatic cost calculation. So we don't need the manual way, the software will do it automatically. And besides that, today I have one assumption for you, that if today the BIM becomes mainstream, let's imagine, there's no 2D drawing in the market, only BIM modeling. So what will happen to our quantity service? In my mind, I think first of all, probably the integration of design and quantity takeoff. So our quantity survey position will be redefined. And the IPD, we know the integrated project delivery will become more popular. We know that IPD is a construction project delivery method that seeks the efficiency and the involvement of all participants together, so to cover the design, fabrication, and construction. So through this way, we can increase the productivity, reduce the waste, avoid the time overrun, enhance the final product quality, reduce conflicts between different parties. So IPD, it is like makes all parties merge into a community of interests. So IPD will become more popular because it's based on the modeling. And also, we believe the 5D BIM can fit in the pre-contract and early design void. Because with the 5D BIM, we know that the owners, the architects, the quantity surveyors, the builders can sit down together to discuss at the early stage of the design. Not only discuss the current design, but also discuss, the alter and the change of design, how it will affect the cost, how it will affect the construction. So finally, I want to say the construction industry is reshaping itself. So slowly but certainly, it is faster than previously. So we stand on the brink of the technology revolution. And this revolution will be fundamentally change the way we live and work. So no matter for the organization or for the individual, I think we need to set up a broadened vision based on a paved road, to the digitalization. So we should adjust our plans, adapt ourselves to the challenges, and adopt new technology. So we should think positively and keep on learning. So that's all from my part. Thank you and stay safe. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Hi, everyone. We are so glad today that you guys could be here today to attend our Cubicost new release event. My name is Ang, and I'm from Glodon. And I'm currently in Malaysia. I used to work in a few main contractor companies before, and for today, I'll be mainly talking about the introduction of our software. And right next to me, we have Mr. Xavier.
Hello, everyone. My name is Xavier from Glodon, and I used to work in AECOM before in Taiwan, back in Taiwan, and I'm from Taiwan. And that time I worked as a consultant. So today, I think I would like to introduce the 5D BIM technology based on the perspective of a consultant. So without further ado, let's start. So in today's presentation by An and me will be consist of mainly 5 parts. So the first one will be who is using 5D BIM, and afterwards we will introduce what has changed with BIM. And for the third part will be presented by Mr. An. He will talk about how we can use BIM technology to do the works from 2D to 3D. Afterwards, I will introduce the new features and functions. It consists of 2 parts. Be a digital hero in construction stage, and also introduce the new Cubicost cloud, which is modern cloud. So let's take a look who is using BIM technology across the world. Okay, so for the consulting companies, we have Arcadis, ROB, AECOM, Northcroft, WT Partnership, and etc. These are the leading companies, no matter worldwide or regionally. For contractors, we have Obayashi, Shimizu, China State Construction and Engineering, EEI, Samsung, Gammon. And for developers, we have Godrej, Sabana Jurong, Agon Pomoro, EcoWorld, Hualun, SunTrust, and etc. And besides, for the Middle East and India, we also have another list, including Shapoji Prolongi, El Ghana, Databy Construction, China Harbor, El Ali, Dar El College, Soba, Nayo, and Greece, RICS, and all these leading companies. In a project, although we have begun the era of BIM, most of the time, information given to us still in various formats of 2D, such as CAD file or PDF drawings. In some cases, we might also receive, let's say, BIM model.
Yeah, that's right. Most of the time, we actually have no choice but to imagine and visualize how each of the drawings comes together to form a full building. And then we have to try our best to produce an accurate estimation. So the question here is imagination equal to reality?
So I'm sure we are familiar with this scenario with stacks of documents laying around our workstation. But I guess this situation should be already being reduced because especially some of the companies has already adopt BIM technology. What do you think?
Yes, I actually agree. According to our clients, drawings can reach up to hundreds or even thousands of drawings for one single project. And it is inevitable that a project may have been subjected to endless changes and variations. Which is why during pre-contract and post-contract, if we can utilize BIM software, it will make everything easier.
And besides drawing, I believe there are more information which are scattered around and not only proper organized. These materials such as materials, steel reinforcement bars, under normal circumstances, we have to go through the drawings and do a lot of works of compile the data and do the management. Do you recall how much time is spent on doing this works during the time that you work as a QSR?
Based on my past experience, I think just by compiling the data, it might take up to one whole day, depending on the size of the project, which is kind of ridiculous.
Wow, I didn't expect that it would take so long.
Yes, data management can be very time-consuming when we do not have a proper system. Now, Due to the massive information and the complexity involved from either 2D drawings or 3D models, how can we manage them effectively? In our software, 2D drawings can be imported and managed under a drawing manager. Information such as element specification can be contained within the model environment on a common platform. These huge amount of data and information can be stored in our BIM model.
I see. From what I understand, 3D model naturally contains more organized and centralized data. Hence, the imported data can help form a BIM model for the QS to take off the quantities.
Yes, you are right, Xavier. Now, this is one of the most important benefits for QS. They can better organize information and counter-check what they have compiled easily.
Okay. And what about the measurement rules? I believe different region will have different type of measurement rules.
Yes, you are right again, Xavier. To enhance this process, we have actually added the localized standard measurement and code of practice within the platform. And this is one of the greatest milestones we have achieved in our product, which gave us an edge in this industry.
So with the BIM model, when the requirements are met, accurate quantities can produce instantly. Results obtained can be timely, accurate, and traceable. Obvious. This is so much simpler to check the data if compared to, let's say, compared to the Excel spreadsheets and other types of works.
Yeah, definitely. Not only that, reports can be customized to suit your own requirements. So, as a main contractor, we can also request our subcontractors to follow our format of reports if needed. Here you can see that we have 4 main products, which are TAS, TRB, TME, and TBQ. So each of the software will have their own elements to take off. For example, TS is for architecture and structure, TRB is for reinforcement bar, TME is for mechanical and engineering, TBQ is for views of quantities. With all that said, I think it is time for us to introduce our main stars for today.
Indeed, we proudly present you TS and TRB.
Now, for my part, I'm going to introduce to you our main stars of TS and TRB. And here I'm going to introduce the basic functions of the software. We believe that a good product should help us to complete the job more efficiently, which is why our product is developed based on 3 core capabilities, which are intelligence, visualization, and interconnection. First, in intelligence, with the application of information and communication technology, complicated problems can be simplified. Work which would never have been possible has been made possible. It has reinvented the ways things are done. So in order to grow and be productive, the construction industry must go digital with intelligence. As mentioned earlier, Cubicost converts 2D information into 3D models. But the question is, how are we able to achieve that? Cubicost is able to import 2D drawings into the software, and then TAS is able to pick up the key information from the drawings and then convert and generate a 3D model. With this, models can be built up floor by floor as per this animation. And finally, this is how the completed model looks like. Next, let's have a look at what we call as the intelligent identification. In this software, TAS is able to generate 3D models based on the drawings. In this animation, we have the architectural or the structural drawings imported into our system, and then we can pick up the sight lines, the sizes, and other important information of the elements based on our drawings. Now imagine that you are QS. You are trying to calculate how many columns are there. How long would that take you? You'll certainly take a lot of time if it is a large project, right? So with this advanced internal algorithm, the models of each element, such as columns, beams, slabs, door window openings, all of those can be generated intelligently, as you can see here. Additionally, TAS enhances the element identification accuracy. What we see here is a PDF format which is in black and white. After importing the drawing, we can actually convert the lines of the drawings into separate colors or different colors. So, and secondly, PDF drawings often comes with some dimensioning errors. For example, a dimension of 500 mm could be shown as 501 mm. So let's have a look at this example. We can see that there is a column here with a section size of 250 times 600. But if we proceed with the dimension measurement, we can see that the length is actually 595 instead of 600. And the size on top is actually 251 instead of 250. With the intelligence in TAS, we can actually identify the actual size it is supposed to be, despite the slight tolerance error in the measurement. So here we use this function and we identify this column, and then we have the size of the column. Now, Cubicost product is also able to identify various kinds of schedules or tables. In this example, we look into BIM schedules. In conventional method, QS have to key in all of the rebar information and then prepare a series of calculation with formula. Using the table identification, multiple BIM rebar information in this entire table can be identified and transferred into Cubicost quickly. With this, we believe that this will help QS to improve their productivity. Once the model has been completed, the next most important element will be finishes quantity takeoff. In TAS, user can generate finishes with each specific room. In this floor, the software is able to arrange finishes by room. So let's take a look at this model. With conventional method, we have to measure each and every corner in the room individually for various finishes, including deducting the openings or overlapping elements. This is not an easy task. Often it may incur human errors in quantifying every element, and I can say that this process will be very hard. So here in TS, it will be a lot easier. So as I have mentioned before, finishes can be laid out quickly. What we need to do is simply have the room elements created, or you can just import the finishes schedule to identify the room finishes. For example, here, then we identify the schedule. Then with the room element, we can lay in the model area. With this, all of the finishes, including wall finishes, flooring, skirting, the ceiling finishes, all of those will be laid out together in just one click. Even with the protrusion of column from walls, or even any other special location, they can be applied with finishes as well. So what we are trying to say is, what you see is what you get. As long as you have the finishes created, you'll have the quantities. And another example here, this is a floor of a parking building. For the purpose of air circulation, there are low walls surrounding the entire floor plan and many isolated columns in the middle. So for this kind of projects, we can also lay out the finishes with just one click. The finishes to short or high or wall columns, they can be generated intelligently, as you can see in this animation. Often, adjustments have to be made in finishes takeoff. So, for example, for some of your companies, you might want to consider the finishes under the beam to be of ceiling finishes or under wall finishes. So if you have that kind of a requirement, we can actually change it in the settings here, in the layout settings. So as you can see, we have the side of top beam, soffit of top beam, beam below slab, all of those. Then we can select whether we want it to be wall finish or ceiling finish. Being a professional beam quantity takeoff software, how can it be without meeting the local standard code. So in our software, we have multiple built-in measurement. For example, in countries like Singapore, we have SMM2. Moreover, we can also take up for project, whether it is in British standard or Euro code. So what are the advantage of having it in the software? Well, as an intelligent software, it is able to help you calculate quantities with deduction automatically according to the rules. As a QS, you no longer need to build up any formulas and take care of the deduction manually, which what I'm trying to say is our software will take off all the quantities, deduct all the overlappings and any openings automatically. So you only need to refer to the measurement rules that you have selected, and the software will do everything for you. And next, in our rebar software, which is called TRB, we also have the built-in design standards for rebar quantity takeoff. Most importantly, we have embedded Euro code into TRB, which is currently required for the new projects. We have also predefined various settings according to the general notes of local drawings. For example, you can see all of the settings here can be shown. So you can change any of the lap and anchorage length, hook values. With these settings, our TRB software is able to help you extract the rebar quantities quickly through BIM models. With both models and built-in rules, what we need to do now is just with one click, and then all calculation results will be generated with various reports automatically, including summaries, details, etc. So it'll look something like this: our quantity measurement schedule with all of the elements, deducting all of the overlapping elements and also the openings. So this report allows QS to extract the important information. For example, here this is our quantity measurement worksheet. And next, we can also extract the quantities just for the columns. So we can actually sort out the data based on what we need. And here we have the wall finishes in the summary. We can also extract the data in terms of rebar schedule. So as you can see here, as long as we have finished all our model, the rebar measurements and the shapes of the rebar will be shown in the report. So you can actually print this out and you can show it to your clients or subcontractors, whoever you wanted to share this information to. Now, according to your work requirements, you may need to define your own report formats now. With some categorization adjustment, Cubicost is able to show you the exact customized report in the end. Isn't this very smart and flexible? Well, personally, I like this a lot. And as a quantity surveyor, I have actually used this software before, so I find it to be useful. You may want to try it out too. So for example, we can customize our report here, okay? And moving on, as mentioned earlier, TAS is able to generate various reports, but sometimes it's not able to meet some of the requirements that we want. So here, we will be showing you a few options or selections. Here we can actually sort out the quantities by zone, by contractor, by payment, or even by schedule date. So this is how it looks like. If we have set a few zones, the quantities will be based on the few zones, or even by contractor. Which contractor do you want to sub this work to? Then moving on, we have the payment. You can set your own payment. And also we can do it by schedule date. When is the start date? When is the end date? You can actually sort all of this information out. As a new product, TAS has been assessed by many clients across the countries. This is the results with comparison between the traditional method and Cubicost method. It can be seen that the Cubicost in a project will take only around 12.5 days to finish, And by using the manual method, you might need around 49 days. So that's like 4 times faster. Okay, and now moving on to the second part, which is visualization. Visualizing from hard copy documents can be hectic, but if this information can be transferred into digital data, they can be managed easily. It is a new way to work, especially during this pandemic, which I'm sure that many QSs might be doing now. Instead of using scale rule, you are now using digital PDF to do measurement, which produces a visualization of a 3D model. Besides, constructions today is also considered as a product of 2 different aspects, physical plus digital. With this, it can help to reduce risk and error before the actual physical construction. Having said, model visual, what does it mean? For example, these are the models created in our software. We have residential, buildings, subways, or even a factory. With the ability to view the 3D model, all elements can be displayed and browsed clearly. QS can easily verify where are the missing elements and able to visualize the entire building easily. For these complicated shape objects, it can be very difficult to calculate. So for example, here, with this system, you only need to extract them from the model, and the system will automatically provide you with accurate quantities, meaning to say you only need to model or extract the quantities. Then you can have a look here with the detailed calculation formulas. For this scenario, for example, you may need to deduct quantities of door, window openings, and beams from the wall quantities. With our software, deduction is done automatically and accurately according to our own built-out rules. You can even check all of the deduction in terms of 3D view, or you can check the formulas below. So for example, if you are a lecturer or you are a manager, you want to check the work of your colleagues or QS. This is where you can check the formulas and also the way that they model. Cubicost also makes rebar calculation becomes easier and convenient in TRB. Having the model built, rebar quantities can be calculated automatically according to built-in rules. You can view the rebar details with what we call the edit rebar and also the rebar 3D. For example, you can see how the rebars are arranged along the walls. All of these are achievable because we have the built-in rules for TRB. The same goes for TRB. If there are any openings, overlapping, our software will consider all of those, which is why we can achieve an accurate rebar quantity measurement. Isn't this rebar calculation very simple and easy to use? Well, you might want to try it out. And in the previous slide, we can see that the rebar calculation can be viewed and checked anytime by using the edit rebar, detailed formulation, the detailed formula. Now, in our calculation rules, they are all shown in pictorial format for the ease of understanding. For example, here, this is how we view the rebar in 3D. And then we can check how are the shapes of the rebar. And for the calculation rule, this is where I have mentioned all of the settings are shown in pictorial format. So QS can easily understand what type of rebar control settings you have to change. With the model, we can get the quantities report right. That's what we already know. But with the enhancement that we have, we can track back to the model from the quantity. For example, if you have any doubts about a specific quantity in the report, you can use the reversely check function to track back the model at any time. You just need to select one of the value, then it will track back the location of the elements for you. Then you can have a look at what is the quantity here. So overall, TAS in both check time and accuracy, the time is around 10 times faster. Here we have conducted with many trials across different countries. So this is the results that we have gotten. Now, moving on, this is our third part of our specialized solution, being the interconnection. Now, naturally, in a construction, it consists of a long value chain, which involves many stakeholders, and each responsibilities are independent from each other. To improve the work efficiency among teams in a project, information and data need to flow downstream and be connected to upstream. We believe that a good product should enable data and information to be shared in an interconnected environment and throughout the project lifecycle. Talking about the use of IFC. In Cubicost, IFC or even Revit models can be imported, and we can generate a 3D models directly. So it looks something like this. This is a project case. This is one of the project of power station in UK. This huge project is divided into several phases and 3D models were given. Usually the model is built by multiple people at the design stage. The same goes here. So for example, you can see the first part, this is actually a Revit model. And also we have a second part. They have actually split the work into different designers of QS. Then they have built out the models in Revit model. So this is the third part. Then we have the fourth part and the final part. Now, once you have the Revit or IFC file, you just need to import the model into our software. Then we will generate the models exactly like how it looks like in Revit model. So second part, third part, fourth part, and the final part. Once all of the QSs, they have finished the work individually, we can combine all of those structures together, and voila, we have the whole completed model. Continuing with interconnection part, in Cubicost family, models are shareable directly among Cubicost family software. For example, TAS model can be imported into TRB or vice versa. TRB can also import to TAS. They work both ways, okay? So as a user, you only need to build the model once, that's all. And so based on these three core capabilities, intelligence, visualization, and interconnection, we believe that the product should gain an edge among the QS fraternities. TASC3 and TRBC3 make everything count. As a QS, whatever matters to you counts. So let's make this work. Now, moving on, I'm going to pass the next part to my colleague, Mr. Xavier. He's going to explain more on the advanced function or new functions of our product.
Okay, thank you, An. And further to our presentation, I will introduce you the new feature. So let's talk about Be a Digital Construction Hero first. So here are some tools that we used in the work before. However, with the advent of BIM technology, Cubicost has brought intelligence, visualization, interconnection to quantity takeoffs. We have changed the way we do the works for years, actually. And this year, Cubicost is here to present you the brand new operation. Keep going further, deeper, and connected. And let's take a look at go further first. We are providing the full lifecycle application of Cubicost, help elevate your efficiency with powerful digital quantity takeoff solution. And as we all know, that throughout all the stages, you can actually use Cubicost to achieve a more efficient quantity takeoff. In the new task C, we even make it to go further, especially for the construction stage. And let's take, there's a progress claim, for instance. You may need to go down to site and check the work done and calculate the quantities manually. So every month, the work done information from the site will be collected and summarized into this kind of drawings with demarcations. Then it requires lots of the time to do the calculation and create the formulas. And no matter you do it manually or with Excel, it's still very time consuming. But if you have the BIM software, it can greatly help you when you do the works. And besides, in the traditional method, all the information of each, let's say, progress, the claim, monthly claim, will be scattered together. It's hard for you to do the management. But with the BIM software, it's much easier for you to do such management. So let's take a look on how Cubicost can actually help you when you do the progress claim. And now we present to you the new function called segmentation. Basically, it's a new element type, enable you to divide model and extract the quantities. Here's how it works. You can define a segmentation of demarcations in model. There's a progress claim 1 and progress claim 2. Afterwards, DS will extract the quantity for you for each claim. And let's move on to how it works. Okay, so first of all, you need to select the types you would like to include, and then draw the segmentation part. Afterwards, for any parts, you can set associate segmentations. Once it is done, you can run the calculation. And then you can view the quantity per segmentation according to your need. And besides, you can also set the classification. Now, all the quantities is being displayed in the claim. And also, you can view the expression to see how this quantity is calculated. So further go to the next part. So as the conclusion, with the new Cubicost Task C, you can now work on your progress claim with a more accurate quantity with visualized segmentation method and eventually improve your efficiency. On the other hand, variation order. So this is another difficulties you may face quite often. It often comes to you during the projects. And when you receive such variation orders, you will receive the new drawings, and you need to recalculate for the changed quantities, which is also time consuming. And in detail, when having variation order, lots of questions and doubts will appear. And also, finding changes in the drawing are not easy. And what's more, okay, recalculation is so time consuming, especially variation order is quite frequent in the real practice. According to my own experience, the variation order rate can be over 10%. So again, the question is here, how can Cubicost help us? Let's take a look on it. Firstly, we provide the auto comparison function to help QS quickly find the changes in the revision drawings, as you can see in the slide. With the auto compared drawing changes, you can easily update your model according to the comparison result. For example, delete the items in the red parts and generate, when you use draw function or identify function to generate the new green parts. So it's quite intuitive and easy to use. Afterwards, you can get the new result. So as you can see, it's being color coded. For the yellow part, it means that this has been changed. This quantities has been changed. And for the green part, it means that this is a new one is added. For the red part, it means these quantities are being deleted. So here's how it works. First of all, you need to add the drawing to confirm on the drawing changes. So you can see it's being displayed in the slide now. You can see the different parts. And you have to add the revision, and then you delete the red part, which is the change part. Okay. So now you add the new elements, and finally finish your revision to set the bottom line and further to make the comparison. Now let's view the quantity. Okay, so it is also color coded in the view quantities. Now you can easily know what has been changed, what quantity is the one you want. There's no omission, no mistake, and very quick. So with revision function, you can directly make use of accurate quantity comparison from BIM model with reduced possible loss from rough estimation like we did before. Also, the process is so easy because what you need to do is just simply a few steps. Everything will be done in seconds or minutes, and there's no omission. So I would like to summarize with these three features: fast, easy, and accurate. So to sum up the construction stage application, we are presenting the construction module. Okay, so this module is actually consists of mainly two parts. First, segmentation function for you to easier split the construction model or allocate the subcontractors and even do the progress claim. And secondly, for the revision function, it helps you to update drawings and models. It helps you to easily identify changes and further update the quantities. So now you can also use Cubicost much easier and more convenient in construction stage. With the new module, improve your work efficiency and capacity. Okay. So going further, next one is going deeper. So besides with the new features, we actually have many enhancements. And let's take a look at this enhancement. So Cubicost team, we actually never stop improving to make your work easier and faster. Let's take ramp for an example. Not only can we get ramp for concrete and formwork now, we can also get the rebar. So now we support ramp in TRB as well. After you have the ramp model generated in TS, then you can input the model into TRB. And now what you need to do is input rebar information in TRB. And afterwards, you just calculate it. So now we are entering the rebar detail for this ramp. Okay, now we run the calculation. Once the calculation is done, the rebar will then be shown in the model, and the quantities are also there. Okay, it's shown properly, and as you can see, the quantities are being generated. Okay, just briefly show you how it works. So for the ramps, there's no more sorrow for a complicated job. It's quite easy and straightforward. So next is about truss. So Cubicost can handle steel structure. And let's take a look on how quick we can do to create a truss now. Okay, so let's watch a truss solution. First of all, we need to create the work plan. Afterwards, we can see the sectional view. And we just place the corresponding element according to the drawing. Okay, so it's quite intuitive, it's visualized, and what you need to do is just place it. Unlike in the past, you can only see from one aspect. Now you can see from another aspect. Once it is all done, your truss is also finished. So afterwards, what we need to do is just switch back to the original view. The overall process will take only 2 minutes. Compared with the original method, it might take around 20 minutes, and now it's much faster. Okay, so let's take another take a look at another improvement. Is the multi-section links. It's about the rebar information. Okay, so this is the new TRB. As you can see here, here's are the links and also the sectional view. And click here, we can switch to multi-section mode. And we can define the densified and non-densified zones for up to 4 different section settings. And let's start with this one first. Let's change the rebar information for this second section for this the densified area. Okay, what we need to do is just draw it. And the software, as always, will provide you with the hooks and what it should look like. Just draw it. Once it is finished, we switch to another section and do the corresponding drawing. Okay, this is another non-densified zones. Afterwards, we place it in the model and run calculation. Now you can see in 3D, the rebar is being arranged according to what you define beautifully. So the quantity will be accurate, and also you can check the detail right here. Okay, so this is also one major improvement for this multi-section part. Okay. So the next one will be check identify beams. So now, once you finish the auto identification, it will provide you with the let's say a list to show the potential error on the beams, so that you can check one by one. And once the dimension is correct, you can click on checked. If there's anything you need to update, just change it right here. Afterwards, you'll be update both to list and also the model. By doing this, there will be no omission, no mistake. Let's take a look on how they work exactly. So what we are doing is to auto-identify all the beams. Afterwards, we click on check identify beams. And once we click it, it will show you where the beams are. And what we need to do is to check whether the dimension is correct. If it is not, then we can modify it. Once it is being corrected, you can select checked, and it will update to both the model and the list. By doing this, you can do your work easily, step by step, no omission, no mistake. So here's the result. And the next one is the major feature of TIS. We have TIO version, and TIO is the only software who supports import Revit file, Revit model into TIS, into a QS model. And further, we can edit the model. So the quantity will be very correct, very accurate. And what is more, what is the improvement for this part? The new Revit 2021 is also supported in the new Task C3. And what's more, the new FC4 is also supported. So next one, let's see our existing function, and let's see the enhancement. Okay, so this is custom quantity. So the last version, when you draw custom area, you can get area and length at the same time. Moreover, we will provide you with many hatches to help you to distinguish them. Okay, so this is the new feature. What you need to do, just identify the area, and it will provide you with the area and also the girth length. Okay. No matter how complicated the area is, what you need to do, just select the side line, and it will get you the area, the boundary. Okay, it's quite easy and fast. Further to the next feature is called the starter guide. Here's the new starter guide. You can see building sample project drawing is convenient for us to do the learning, and also re-engine the contents to make you learn more clear. With a shorter GIF also makes you learn faster. And also there are many friendly details designed to make your learning more easier, more accurate. So what you need to do, just simply see how it works, how it goes, and follow their steps, and you'll be able to finish your own model. Okay, so further to the next is the new feature guide. Okay, so we will also like to make it easier for our existing users. So for new features guide, we provide various learning methods for both feature information and also the training, as you can see here. Apart from that, over 30 functions has been enhanced in the latest version, like align the slab, picture, snap, reduce drawing size, and CAD identification rate. All these have been updated and enhanced. So what we are doing is that we are making our solution better, stronger, faster, and meanwhile makes your work easier, faster, more efficient. To conclude, we have enhanced our current function to better handle your business so that you can finish your work faster. Also, some creative and intelligent features have been added in the new version to make your daily work smarter. And lastly, we never stop making our product easier to use. Our non-stop enhancement always make quantity takeoff faster, smarter, and easier. So the last thing will be Go Connected. This part, I will introduce you the new Cubicost Cloud, which is more than a cloud.
As we all know, team collaboration achieves good results and saves a lot of time at work. However, it involves large amounts of file exchange, which in the AEC industry heavily relies on USB hard disk and servers now. It's troublesome for your employees to work from home, especially during the post-pandemic period. As for the communication with upstream and downstream, using different working platforms would considerably reduce efficiency. Assume that you're using intelligent and visualized BIM technology for quantity takeoff. You feel delighted. But when it comes to reports and business meetings, you still have to use piled up documents and pictures to communicate with your clients. Suddenly, all the joy goes away. Now to solve all that, introducing Cubicost Cloud. Cubicost Cloud enables you to manage your project files in the cloud, which is just so much easier and cheaper. Cubicost Cloud's powerful permission management and safe cloud service guarantees both confidentiality and safety of your data. Moreover, it enables you to systematically organize the documents in the full lifecycle of construction projects. With Cubicost Cloud, you can share task models with your colleagues, even your co-workers outside the company, making it possible for them to obtain benefits of BIM models through any device, anywhere and anytime. BIM model in the cloud helps you work with your teammates better because it not only provides you with a visually appealing model, but also all the information you need. You can view the attribute, quantity, as well as the quantity report of your model. The best thing is, you can even check the deduction details, thus not only knowing what the exact quantity is, but also how it's been calculated, which enables everyone involved in the project to speak the same BIM language. Moreover, remarks can be added to the model and reviewed by team workers in real time. You can even attach screenshots to better illustrate your point. The internal and external collaboration has never been so easy and smooth before. Cubicost Cloud, making collaboration in the cloud full of possibility.
Okay, So this is the brief introduction on what Cubicost Cloud can do and also the working scenario. And now let's take a look how it works exactly. So it feels great to be able to get connected with your colleagues for work, and as it is more convenient and interactive. So what happened after the model goes into the cloud? Let's take a look. Okay, so once you upload the model into the cloud, you can actually view the model online with a web browser. Okay, and you can also select different elements according to your need. Afterwards, you can view the model at any angle as you want. Besides, you can see the sectional view. Okay. So once you finish the model, there's actually lots of the benefits. And not only see how it looks like, we can also see the attributes right here. So this is really a BIM model, the model with information. And besides, we can view the quantity and expression. If we goes out or the manager want to check the quantity, what I need to do, just go to the Cubicost Cloud. And besides, you can also view the report online on the web browser. So even if you don't have Cubicost software with you, you can just simply access to the Cubicost Cloud and get everything. And the next one, let's take a look, share files. So let's take a look on how we share the files. First of all, you can see here, there's a button here. You can share this file to whoever you want. You can share it to your colleagues, and it's done. It's quite intuitive. And besides internal share, you can also share to the external parties. So besides, you can also set the period on when to share. When regarding to the safety, you can also be quite confident about this because you can set the code. Okay, so this is about the file sharing. The next one is about the comments on the model. So this is actually a very strong function. You will see a useful toolbar down the middle, which provides handy tools like rulers, so you can measure any entities to check the dimensions. Okay, it's right here. Okay, you can also use markup to make the model when there is any something needed to be checked. You can also add the comments right here. Okay, so now comments is being added. You can even add the comment in the sectional view. So by doing this, you will say goodbye to all these piles of drawings into the method. And you can even check these comments by simply click it, and it will navigate you to where the comments are. Okay, auto locate where the markups are. Okay, so that's why I said this Cubicost Cloud is more than a cloud. And next one is the remarks on comments. So you can not only comment, you can also do a correction. Okay. So let's say your coworkers have checked the model and quantities, and they left some comments for you. What happened is there will be a notification in Cubicost Cloud, and you can view these comments as well as the markup in the model, and get back to them and write down your reply to these comments. Okay. The next one is about the safety. Okay. So Cubicost Cloud is not only safe, but also easy to manage permission, as you can see right here. You can set different roles right here for different levels of permission, which is both convenient and safe. So this cloud is unlike other public cloud, let's say OneDrive or Google Drive. It's designed for you to do your work. Everything follows the logic and everything fits your scenario in your works. And also, Cubicost Cloud considerably keep your space organized. So on the left-hand side, you can see everything is organized in the way you work, divided into different stages, and you can set the folder according to your need. This is, for example, this is for tender stage, and this is for construction stage. Okay. So you can actually easily manage your data in a very well-organized way. It's designed for the QSs. So to conclude our Cubicost Cloud, it provides safety and easy permission management, and organized space which offer a secure and cozy cloud space for you to do your works. And for collaboration, you can view your BIM information anywhere, anytime, and share the information with your team or your colleagues, and even the outside parties. What's the best is everyone who is involved in the project could all speak the same BIM language. Everything is connected. Personally, I think I'm amazed by this new version, and I hope you feel the same way. Cubicost never stop bringing our solution to next level to help you better handle your business. That's why is this new version. We want to go further to bring digital takeoff to construction stage, so that you can take the advantage of BIM takeoff for progress claim or subcontracting, etc. And the next thing, like we have already mentioned, go deeper. In the meantime, we keep enhancing our solution. For those business that we already tackled in the previous version, we didn't stop there, but we to make the things faster, smarter, and also easier for you. And the next one will be the Go Connected. So in a new version, we are happy to introduce you the amazing Cubicost Cloud, which enhance you to communicate with your team in BIM method and also in the cloud. Okay. So this is the new Cubicost introduction, and I hope you like it. And there's one good news for you is that these new updates, no matter for the existing user, the old users, or you are the new user or the newcomer, is free. This update is free. Okay, so if you would like to know more about Cubicost and we would like to try out Cubicost, don't hesitate to call us. Okay, thank you very much. And next, let's take a look on how these users, Cubicost users, react to our solution.
We picked up Cubicost in April 2012. So since then, we've been using the program for 6.5 years now. With the program as well, we've been working on it not just on your architectural structure module, but also on reinforcement of measurement, and with TBQ, TCF, TT, the whole lot. Since then, we've worked on new projects, from big to small, over 70 to 80 modules that we've completed, not just for cost planning, not just for VQ production, but also post-contract and finalization of accounts. So we've used the modules that we've created over this 6.5 year period within the region, and we've sort of adapted it to the system that we wanted to put in place in the case.
So whenever we have a problem or anyone query about the quantity or this, you can always just open the so-called file and just trace it down. So you don't have to actually open the copy drawings and this compared to the time. We're actually using Excel. So we actually have to open the drawings to trace back the picture.
There are many software in the market today, but Cubicost is still our first choice. Interface of the Cubicost is more user-friendly, easy for the beginner to pick up and learn the basic function. Of course, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the more you explore the software. and technology is leading the construction industry now. It is important to keep our competitiveness to provide the fast and reliable service to our client.
Saya Nanang Yoga Kusianus. Jabatan di perusahaan saya adalah Kepala Divisi Gedung dari PT Tiara Multiteknik. Jadi PT Tiara Multiteknik ini bergerak di main kontraktor. Terdiri ada divisi gedung, ada infrastruktur. Oke, awal mula kami searching di antara beberapa software. Glodon lebih menekankan ke quantity. Bagi yang pemula, untuk cepat mempelajari itu ada di Glodon. Kami jadi lebih gampang dan mudah untuk mendeteksi gambar yang tidak sesuai antara struktur ke arsitek, mengalami kecepatan dalam penghitungan proyek. Kalau dulu awal pakai manual untuk waktu 2-3 hari, baik Glodon bisa sampai 1 hari.
It's a matter of time that we realize, the rest of the contractors are using it. They're in already. How come Dragage are not using it yet? I think it would be an edge for us if we have it in our company.
Kami menghitung pakai Glodon ada rasa nyaman ya. Nyaman artinya tidak takut hitungan kami salah. Artinya ketika kita sudah dapat kontrak, itu kira volume yang kami hitung itu sudah benar. Itu nambah kami percaya diri banget ya dalam sebuah tender.
The first time I deal with Glodon's Cubicost software, it was about half a year ago, and I'm quite impressed. I have been so long in this QS9. Okay, all along I've been doing with papers, measurements and all this, and suddenly there's this QS that can help us in quantification. And quantification is the process that is really, really time consuming. I'm very impressed.
In case, I like the fact that it's easy for me to pick up finishes, all type of finishes. I just need to input the schedule and just point it in, and then I get floor finishes, wall finishes. For me, it saves up a lot of time to do measurement.
Mình là Thành, mình đã làm trong lĩnh vực xây dựng gần 20 năm. Hiện đang làm chuyên viên quản lý dự toán cấp cao của Sương Minh Dư ở công ty oversea về xây dựng ở Việt Nam.
Mình là Thành QS đến từ công ty Arcadis Việt Nam, là một trong những công ty tư vấn đấu thầu ở Việt Nam.
Khi mà áp dụng Cubicost vào trong cái việc đo cách khối lượng của dự án trong quá trình đấu thầu cũng như trong quá trình mà dự án triển khai, thì cái hiệu quả công việc tăng rất nhiều, đặc biệt là giảm thiểu những sai sót và những cái chi phí phát sinh trong quá trình đo bóc.
Nếu trong một cái quy trình truyền thống thì khi người thiết kế cung cấp cho mình một cái bản vẽ file CAD thì người QS sẽ phải bốc tách lại toàn bộ khối lượng, và cái việc đó nó lấy rất nhiều thời gian cho việc chuẩn bị một cái hồ sơ đấu thầu. Còn nếu áp dụng Cubicost thì chúng ta đang hướng tới cái quy trình là vận hành theo một dự án theo quy trình BIM, nghĩa là khối lượng có thể được tận dụng và lấy lại từ mô hình BIM của nhà tư vấn, hoặc người QS có thể tự bản thân mình có thể build lên một mô hình cho việc lấy khối lượng này. Thì như vậy nó sẽ đảm bảo rằng là bằng cách này chúng ta có thể làm việc theo một cái workflow và chúng ta có thể tiết kiệm được thời gian hơn.
There's once I'm working on TBQ. It's also part of Cubicost. I'm stuck with some issues. Then I call up this salesperson. She was actually really nearby at another office. She said she can just drop by. So I was surprised. Drop by. Where? She says it's a few blocks away. Okay, good. So I waited. And then she came down. We worked through lunch, and then she solved the problem for me. That's very good.
Glodon luar biasa, mantap, nggak ada obatnya katanya.
The one word I would use is innovative.
The one word I would use is fun.
My name is Lambert Gallardo. I work for Algana as a senior quantity surveyor.
Hi, I'm Kevin Gallardo and working as QS here in the Algana Group.
We've been using Cubicost for the past 3 years now, and it helps us a lot in quantity takeoff, and especially on a tendering stage.
Cubicost we started March 2018, I believe. Okay, and then we are using for the past 2.5 years. The improvement in our estimation is like we are able to take out 2D and 3D estimations in a faster way, since it has a auto capturing of the drawings from the AutoCAD and all these things.
I've been using this Cubicost since 2017, and it helped us save more time in getting more in quantities for architectural and structural.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying with us until now. Wish you have enjoyed the experience.
The construction industry is reshaping itself. It raises the requirements for all of us. We should adapt ourselves to the big trend. Empower our team with the latest technologies. Wish Cubicost becomes one of your most powerful 5D BIM tools when tackling the challenges during the construction digitalization.
Thanks again to all of you. Clap for yourself. Keep in touch.